Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm while everything around them is falling apart, while others are shattered by the smallest inconvenience? The answer has nothing to do with intelligence, talent, or luck. It has everything to do with one truth that most people spend their entire lives ignoring. The moment someone can control your emotions, they begin to control your life. The moment your happiness depends on another person's words, approval, or behavior, you have quietly surrendered your freedom without even realizing it. Most people wake up every morning believing they are making their own choices. But are they? Or are they simply reacting to criticism, fear, rejection, disappointment, social pressure, and the endless noise of the world? The Stoics discovered a secret that made ordinary men mentally unbreakable, a secret so powerful that once you truly understand it, insults lose their sting, fear loses its grip, failure loses its power, and no person can manipulate your peace again. Hello everyone, welcome to the Stoic Hypnosis channel. In this video, you'll discover the timeless principle that can free your mind from emotional slavery, help you reclaim complete control over yourself, and show you why the greatest form of power has never been controlling others. It has always been mastering yourself. Now, let's get started. Part 1. The moment you react, you surrender your power. Most people believe control is something another person takes from them, but that isn't how it happens. Control is rarely stolen. It is given away, one reaction at a time. Every time someone insults you and your peace disappears, they gain control. Every time fear convinces you not to take a chance, it gains control. Every time your happiness depends on another person's approval, you silently place your life in hands that were never meant to carry it. This is why so many people feel exhausted. They are constantly reacting to bad news, reacting to criticism, reacting to social media, reacting to expectations, reacting to memories that no longer exist. Instead of living intentionally, they spend their lives responding to whatever demands their attention the loudest. The Stoics recognized this long before the modern world filled our minds with endless distractions. They understood that the first person to control is never your enemy, it is yourself. Because if you cannot command your own thoughts, someone else eventually will. Not through force, but through your emotions. A single careless comment can ruin your entire day. One unexpected setback can convince you to abandon a dream you've carried for years. One moment of rejection can make you question your own worth. Notice what is happening. The event itself is not controlling you. Your interpretation of the event is. That realization changes everything. The world has far less power over you than you have been led to believe. Most suffering is not created by reality. It is created by the meaning we attach to reality. This is why two people can experience the exact same hardship, yet walk away as completely different human beings. One becomes bitter, the other becomes wiser. One sees an ending, the other sees a beginning. The difference is never what happened. The difference is who remained in control. The day you realize that no one can force you to think, react, or become someone without your permission is the day you begin taking your life back. And that is only the first step, because the greatest form of control is far more subtle than most people ever imagine. Part 2. The invisible chains. You never realized you were wearing the most dangerous prison is the one that has no walls, because when you cannot see your chains, you never think to break them. Most people believe they are free to think, free to choose, free to live as they please. But look a little closer. How often do you change your mood because someone ignored your message? How often do you compare your life to strangers on a screen? How often do you lose sleep over opinions that will not matter a year from now? These are not small habits. They are invisible chains. The Stoics believed that every attachment has the potential to become a master if you allow it. The need to be admired, the fear of failure, the desire to always be comfortable, the obsession with certainty. None of these seem dangerous at first. In fact, they often feel normal. But over time, they quietly begin making your decisions for you. You stop speaking because you fear rejection. You stop dreaming because failure feels unbearable. You stay in unhealthy relationships because loneliness frightens you more than unhappiness. Without realizing it, you are no longer choosing your path. Your fears are choosing it for you. That is how control is lost. Not in one dramatic moment, but in thousands of small compromises with your own weakness. The Stoics asked a powerful question whenever they felt themselves becoming emotionally attached to an outcome. If this disappeared tomorrow, would I disappear with it? If the answer was yes, they knew they had surrendered too much of themselves. True freedom begins when your peace is no longer dependent on anything outside your character. Money may come and go. Success may rise and fall. People may enter your life and eventually leave. Even your circumstances can change overnight, but if your identity is rooted in wisdom, discipline, and virtue, nothing external can truly own you. The world only controls those who cannot live without its rewards. The moment you need less from the world loses its power over you. And once you loosen the grip of fear and attachment, you are finally ready to discover the one discipline that makes a human being almost impossible to manipulate. Before we move on, pause for just a moment. Think about the last time something or someone stole your peace. Was it really because they were powerful, or because, without realizing it, you handed them the power to control your thoughts? If this message is opening your eyes, don't let it end here. Subscribe to the channel and join thousands of people who are learning to build a mind that cannot be manipulated by fear, opinion, or circumstance. Every video on this channel is designed to help you become calmer, stronger, and more disciplined through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Now, let's continue. Because the next lesson reveals the habit that quietly separates those who are controlled by life from those who quietly master it. Part 3. The world doesn't control you. Your reactions. There is a truth so simple that most people overlook it for their entire lives. No one can reach into your mind and force you to become angry. No one can command you to feel inferior. No one can make you abandon your values. They can only present a situation. Everything that follows happens inside you. Yet most people never notice this invisible moment. There is a brief space between what happens and how you respond. It lasts only a second, sometimes less, but within that tiny space lies the greatest freedom a human being can ever possess. Most people never use it. Someone criticizes them, they react. Someone insults them, they react. Life becomes unfair, they react. Soon, they begin calling themselves victims of circumstances. But the Stoics refused to live that way. They trained themselves to pause before every response, not because they were weak, but because they understood that impulsive reactions always serve the moment, while thoughtful responses serve your future. Every uncontrolled reaction hands a piece of your freedom to the outside world. Every deliberate response takes that freedom back. Think about the strongest person you have ever met. Chances are they were not the loudest. They were not the quickest to argue. They were not desperate to prove themselves. Instead, they carried a quiet presence. They listened more than they spoke. They observed before acting. And when pressure arrived, they became calmer, not louder. That kind of composure is not a personality trait. It is a discipline. A discipline built one decision at a time. The first time, you choose silence over anger. The first time, you choose understanding over revenge. The first time, you refuse to let another person's behavior dictate your own character. These moments may seem small, but they are transforming your identity, because every reaction you master today becomes a habit tomorrow, and every habit becomes the person you eventually become. Remember this: you cannot always choose what life places in your hands, but you can always choose the mind with which you hold it. That choice is what separates those who spend their lives being controlled from those who quietly become impossible to control. And once you understand this, one final question remains. How do you stay unshaken when life brings pain that no amount of preparation could ever prevent? Part 4. Nothing has power over a mind that knows its purpose. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize something astonishing. The things they feared the most were never the greatest threat. The greatest threat was living without direction. A person without purpose is easily controlled. They are controlled by comfort, by distractions, by temporary pleasures, by the opinions of people who will never live their life. When your mind has no higher destination, it begins chasing whatever feels good in the moment. That is why so many people drift from one emotion to another. One day they are motivated. The next day they are discouraged. One compliment fills them with confidence. One criticism empties them of it. Their identity changes with every circumstance because it was never rooted in anything deeper. The Stoics believed that purpose acts like an anchor in a violent sea. Storms still arrive. The waves still crash. The wind still howls. But the anchor keeps the ship from being carried wherever the current decides. Your purpose works the same way. When you know the kind of person you're committed to becoming, every decision becomes clearer. You no longer ask, "How do I avoid discomfort?" Instead, you ask, "Does this move me closer to the person I want to become?" That single question changes everything. Suddenly, rejection becomes a lesson instead of an insult. Failure becomes practice instead of proof that you are incapable. Criticism becomes useful feedback or meaningless noise. Even pain begins to serve a purpose, because purpose gives suffering direction. Without purpose, suffering feels random. With purpose, suffering becomes part of your transformation. This is why the strongest minds are rarely obsessed with controlling tomorrow. They are focused on mastering today. They know that every disciplined action, every honest choice, every difficult decision quietly builds a character that cannot be bought, frightened, or manipulated. When your values become stronger than your emotions, when your purpose becomes greater than your comfort, the world discovers something frustrating. It can delay you, it can test you, it can challenge you, but it can no longer control you. Because a mind that knows where it is going is no longer distracted by every voice trying to tell it where it should go. And when purpose and self-mastery finally become one, you discover the greatest freedom any human being can ever experience. Part 5. The day you become untouchable. One day, if you continue walking this path, something remarkable will happen. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. The insults that once ruined your day will become passing sounds. The opinions that once kept you awake at night will lose their weight. The failures that once convinced you to give up will become chapters of your education rather than verdicts on your worth. People will wonder what happened to you. They will think you became colder, more distant, less emotional. But they will be mistaken. You did not become colder. You became clearer. You finally understood that peace is not something the world gives you. It is something you protect. The Stoics never promised a life without pain. They never claimed that wise people escape loss, betrayal, uncertainty, or grief. They taught something far more powerful, that suffering is inevitable, but becoming its prisoner is optional. There will still be moments when fear whispers in your ear, moments when doubt tells you to quit, moments when anger invites you to strike back. The difference is that you will no longer obey every voice that enters your mind. You will examine it, question it, and choose whether it deserves your attention. That is what true freedom looks like, not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to remain faithful to your values, even when your emotions beg you to abandon them. This is why the strongest people are often the quietest. They no longer waste energy trying to prove themselves. They no longer chase every argument. They no longer seek revenge to heal wounded pride. They understand that every unnecessary reaction is a silent surrender of power. Instead, they guard the one territory no one else can enter unless invited, their mind. Imagine waking up every morning without the need to impress anyone. Imagine facing criticism without losing your confidence. Imagine walking through uncertainty without surrendering your peace. Imagine becoming the kind of person whose character remains steady whether life offers praise or hardship. That is not perfection. That is mastery. And mastery is never built in one dramatic moment. It is built every day, in the quiet choices no one applauds. Each time, you choose discipline over impulse, wisdom over ego, patience over anger, courage over fear. You become a little less controllable, a little more resilient, a little more free, until one day the world realizes it has lost its greatest weapon against you. Because the person who cannot be ruled by fear cannot be manipulated by approval, cannot be broken by failure, and cannot be distracted from their purpose, has already achieved the highest form of victory, not over the world, but over themselves. And that is the only victory that truly lasts. Conclusion. In the end, the greatest freedom you will ever experience is not the freedom to control the world. It is the freedom to stop allowing the world to control you. There will always be people who misunderstand you, circumstances you cannot change, and challenges you never expected. But when your peace no longer depends on external events, you become stronger than any obstacle life can place before you. This is the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. True power is not found in dominance over others, but in quiet mastery over yourself. And once you achieve that, you carry within you something no one can steal, an unshakable mind. The deepest lesson is this. Every day, life asks you one simple question. Who is in control today? Your fears? Your anger? Other people's opinions? or your own reason and character? The answer is revealed not by your words, but by your choices. Begin with small victories. Pause before reacting. Refuse to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. Replace the need for approval with self-respect. Focus on what you can control and release everything else. These daily habits may seem ordinary, but over time, they forge an extraordinary mind, one that remains calm in chaos, strong in adversity, and free in every circumstance. If this video helped you see yourself from a new perspective, consider subscribing to the channel and becoming part of a community committed to lifelong growth through the wisdom of Stoicism. Every new video is created to help you develop greater discipline, inner peace, and mental resilience in a world full of distractions. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.